Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Face in your face. Face in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Latina Diaspora. For the benefit of those of you not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, what we do here is we talk about issues pertaining to Latinos in the United States. Of course, I have my main YouTube channel, which is Uncommon Sense, my host Negro, where we talk about everyday issues and try to find logical solutions. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on Facebook and YouTube. Also, the subscriber mode has been enabled. Meaning, if you're not a subscriber to the channel and you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe to the channel. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a supporter from the very beginning or just recently joined, I really appreciate your love and continued support. Also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, as well as those who allow me to enter into your devices and those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so already, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch live or catch it on the playback. So as you can see by the thumbnail, the topic for tonight is time to adjust. Now, as we go through life, we enter into many stages, levels of maturity, growth, and things of that nature. In time, slowly and surely, we adjust to our new situations. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But most of us are able to adjust. So what I'm going to be doing is just explaining the whole process of adapting. But before we get into the main topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Well, first of all, I just want to make it perfectly clear that next week I will not be doing a live on this channel due to the fact, first of all, it's Holy Week, number one. Number two, I will be engaged in activities outside the home. Speaking about activities, I had kept a very busy schedule this week. I've been attending several functions. Okay. Partly to keep myself occupied and partly as a form of the diversion. So Wednesday night, I attended the DC 37 Asian Community meeting and talked about plans for an event that's happening, I believe, at the end of May. And then on Thursday, I attended a function um, by an organization called Sisters with Purpose. So it deals with ladies who have made positive contributions to society, positive contributions um, to women in general. And it so happens that a dear friend of mine was being honored. So I was invited to attend this function, which was a really fancy banquet. And I'm proud of the member for her achievement. Then, last night I attended the red carpet event, also D37, honoring the achievement of women have made and focusing on the struggles that they still have to make. And then to round up my activities, earlier today I attended a function called Women of Courage, where our executive vice president was among 8 other, no, 9 other honorees, all female, for their contributions of making a positive influence on others. Obviously, I'm proud of our executive vice president because I believe the honor was highly deserved. But also proud of the fact that there are women out there who are making positive contributions to the lives of others and to society as a whole. Today, many people complain about how women, particularly modern women, are shallow, demanding, unrealistic, have lo- have no accountability. So the fact that there was women that have and continue to make positive contributions to society, that's very refreshing. And it gives me hope that women, for the most part, can be a positive influence. And we're not dealing with women who are self entitled, lacking accountability, but that we're dealing with women who are actually devoting their time and energy to improve the lives of others. So it's something to consider. Now, when everything is said and done, we're going to go to the main topic. Now, before I continue, let me just state for the record that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to opine regarding the topic at hand, they may do so. Let me make myself perfectly clear, nevertheless. If I never seen you before, if I never heard from you before, I will insist that you come up in the backstage to make sure that no one tries to uh, flash any pornographic images, which will cause the people of YouTube to take down the stream. Once I see you will not try to do any of those shenanigans, I will let you on the panel. Now, I'm not going to stay long, maybe another 20 minutes or so. I'm not going to lie, it's been a busy day, and I'm a little tired. In fact, I was thinking about canceling, but I figured, ah, let's just proceed. Now, when we think about life, we enter in many stages in our lifetime. Okay. First of all, obviously, we're born. Okay. And if we are fortunate, we'll, we'll be raised by loving, caring parents who will provide love and nurturing and guidance, and also install values um, to help us to become productive members of society. Now, of course, the first stage is the infant stage where we are dependent on our parents for food, clothing, to change us and to watch over us. Then the next stage is development is the toddler years. Those are the time when a child is learning how to walk, learning how to talk, learning how to um, go to the bathroom by themselves, maybe learn how to dress a little bit. And instead of eating baby food, maybe it might grow up with more solid food. And then the next stage, of course, is the pre-kindergarten and the kindergarten age. And that's the time where when children start to interact with other children, and then they'll attend school. So at this course, this will be the first time that they may be away from their parents, and it could be traumatic because of fear of separation. And then the next stage is the peak revision stage. That's basically the point when you're no longer a a toddler, but yet you're not a teenager. And it was during those times where more and more complex values are placed. Uh, Children begin to hopefully take accountability for their actions. And also, they learn the difference between right and wrong. They also learn, hopefully, the consequences of their actions, and that every action, whether it be good or bad. Then there is the teenage years where they're no longer they're no longer a child, but they're not an adult either. And also, there's a time of rebellion. It's a time where, so to speak, they're trying to find themselves. Time that they're trying to, they're actually going out. They're spending time from home, and sometimes they'll hook up with negative influence. And then the next stage is, of course, young adulthood. By this stage, they have some of them have attended college, gained an education. Others, they may have learned a trade, or they may have begun working, being hopefully members of society. And that will continue for them for the next several years until they reach what's called a midlife crisis, usually in their 40s when they're trying to define who they are. And they're not young anymore, but then again, they're not elderly. And sometimes people who have a midlife crisis trying to recapture their youth involved in foolish activities and things of that nature. For the benefits of those who are just tuning in, the topic for tonight, time for adjustment. So I'm discussing all the different time periods that a natural human being would go through. So then the next thing is, of course, um, when we're approaching the senior years. By then, you're in your 50s and 60s, you're thinking about retirement. Also, um, your body starts to slow down. Um, those is things like you're becoming bald. You might have developed some health issues and things of that nature. And sometimes people try to do foolish things to try to recapture their youth. Not understanding that each stage also has its advantages as well. By the time you reach your 60s, hopefully, if you act in a responsible way, people will look at you as a source of wisdom and be able to share life experiences. Then you go to the next stage, which is the extreme elderly age. That's when you are in your 70s and possibly 80s, and of course by this stage, your body starts to decline in health. Next thing you know, you're developing multiple health issues. Okay, and also by this time, you're leaving the job market and living your retirement. And of course, one of the issues, is that as you grow older, more and more of your friends and loved ones pass away due to old age or due to medical issues. Also, the friends that you had in the younger days, um, they're distancing themselves. So as a result, you have people in their 70s and 80s dealing with depression because, first of all, they're lonely. Second of all, they have all these multiple issues. Also, they have more and more of the people that they care about and loved have passed away. And then there's the final stage where when you're near death, and everyone was everyone acts differently when it comes to the final years of your life. There are those who are looking forward because it means that they're going to spend eternity with God. There are others that are fearful because they don't know where they're going to end up after they pass away. And what people fail to understand, as is stated in Hebrews 9, verse 27, that it is appointed for man to die once, and then after that, the judgment. Meaning, every single human being who has full mental capacity will undergo judgment. And their judge and their actions are either going to confirm that they deserve to go to heaven, or that they'll to spend eternity away from God's presence. And of course, some people are worried, okay, because their health has declined. Many of the friends and loved ones that they knew have passed away and moved on. And now they're at the stage where someone has to got to take care for them. In some cases, someone has to feed them, change them, bathe them, and things of that nature because they're too weak physically to do it themselves. And that could be a humbling experience, particularly if you're the type of person that always relied on yourself to do virtually everything, and to end up in the stage when you need someone to look after you, when you need someone to talk with you, when you need someone to do chores for you. That can be a difficult phase for anyone to go through. But we can deal with times of adjustment if we understand what each change means, and we are able to assess calmly and without emotion. And in time, you will gain wisdom because you're able to see um, what things you can do and what things you can't do. It's like the serenity prayer, where you ask God to deal with those things that you're able to do. Not lose sleep over things, assignments, where you know you're not able to do this. Followed by people being able to adjust and take accountability for their actions. Okay, so basically, that's what a judgment mean. It is a time to consider, time reflect, and one needs to be completely honest with oneself regarding what they can do and can't do. But in any case, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop to wrap this up. I will be live uh, tomorrow. The next time I'll go live will probably be Wednesday, Thursday, and of course Friday, being it is Good Friday. I will have a Good Friday message, where I hope that you will take to heart. And of course, the playback end, you're more than welcome to leave whatever comments that you wish, or I ask that you try to keep it respectful. And you have not done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure you set the notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. And with that, I'm going to call this a good night. Thank you very much for your attention. And of course, we're going to close the same way that we always close. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectual challenge, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by the stupidity and mass insanity. And of course, whatever we say and do, we should do for the glory of God. With that being said, thank you very much. Take care. Stay blessed.
Be strong.